Hello and welcome to Mr. A's Maths Today. Here is today's question. Give this a go, pause the video when you're ready. So today we are looking at solving simultaneous equations with an equal coefficient. Remember, coefficient means the number before. So the coefficient of my y's are the same. There's really a number 1 there, we just don't write that in algebra. When it's 1 of something, we don't write that 1 in. But different signs, whereas yesterday's the sign was the same, today the signs are different. How can I solve this simultaneous equation? I need to do what I did yesterday and think to myself, how can I get rid of plus y and minus y? This is why I want the coefficients the same, because I can get rid of it quite easily then. How can I get rid of these? And if you think about it, I've got a positive and a negative. If I add these together, that should get rid of one of those y's. I'm always aiming to eliminate something. I'm using an elimination method. I want to get rid of something. So, let's add them, let's see what happens. You'll soon know you've gone wrong if you still end up with an x and y, because we're always aiming to get rid of something. 5x plus 3x is 8x. Positive y add negative y disappears, that's what I'm after. 11 plus 9 is 20. Don't be worried if it's looking like you're going to end up with a decimal. You will sometimes end up with decimals. 8x equals 20. How am I going to solve this? I shall divide both sides by 8. I am left with x equals 20 over 8. 20 divided by 8. I'll simplify that as far as I can. Let's divide both of them by 4. X equals 5 over 2. So I found my x value. X is 5 over 2. I'm going to substitute it into either of these. And it should give me the same y value. I'm trying to find that y value now. I'll put it into the first one, just because I'm trying to avoid this negative. It can make things a bit awkward when you've got a negative. So let's short for substitute, into 1. I've got 5 lots of 5 over 2, that's how I'll write that, plus y equals 11. 5 lots of 5 over 2. So it's a non-calculator question. It was only worth 3 marks. It's a foundation and higher topic. 5 lots of 5 over 2 is 25 over 2. That's come about because 5 is the same as 5 over 1. When I multiply fractions, 5 times 5, 1 times 2. So 25 over 2 plus y equals 11. So y has to be equal to 11 subtract 25 over 2. Okay, let's quickly work this out. I'm going to use a common denominator. I'm going to use a common denominator of 2. Minus 25 over 2. If I want to put a 2 under that 11, I need to multiply that 11 by 2 to keep it the same. So it's 22 over 2, subtract 25 over 2, which leaves me with minus 3 over 2. We can end up with negatives, we can end up with decimals, with simultaneous equations. Don't worry if that happens, it can happen, and it will happen. So I found my y value. My y value is minus 3 over 2. And my x value is 5 over 2. I definitely do want to substitute these back in. I want to check that these work. I've worked with equation 1, so I'll sub them back into 2 because I already think they work for 1. I'll put them back into 2 to see if it gives me the value 9. Remember, that's what a simultaneous equation is. We're looking for the x and the y value that make this true while making this true at the same time. So let's put the values back into 2. And this is just my check. This is just me checking that this is working out. Substitute into 2. 3 lots of 5 over 2. Subtract negative 3 over 2. And I need to work out what that is. I'm hoping it's going to give me 9. If it's not 9, I've definitely gone wrong. 3 lots of 5 over 2. 15 over 2. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding. which gives me 15, 16, 17, 18 over 2, which equals 9. So I know that this is correct. I know that one's correct because that's the one I work with. So my answer has to be those two values there. This was just a check. So not an easy one, but it was only made difficult because the numbers were a bit more awkward. So try and get a bit of confidence with using fractions and negative numbers. Have a go with this one. Notice that it's not quite the same as the one we've just done. We always like something x, something y equals something. So you might want to rearrange this one before you begin. Pop your answers in the comments below. A maths question a day keeps the bad grades at bay. Tune in tomorrow for another maths question. See you soon.